Start. Mr. Banerjee, learned counsel for the respondents to a query, replied that Preetham Singh's case was complied with by the railway authorities. It is most unfortunate to state here that the DRM treated the matter in a different manner in order to avoid payment and has passed such illegal order by stating that dismissal of SLP by the Honorable Supreme Court does not amount to a decision on merits. He has lost sight of the fact that the CAT does not hold the jurisdiction to sit in appeal against the order passed by the controlling authority under the Gratuity Act. In Preetham Singh's case, an independent direction was passed by the CAT by invoking the provisions of Gratuity Act. Similar benefit ought to have been given to the present applicant from the totality of the facts and circumstances of the case. I direct the respondent number 2 to pay the gratuity as claimed by the applicant in terms of Section 4 of the Indian Gratuity Act 1972, together with the interest at the rate of 10% per annum from the date when it become due till the date of payment, and file compliance report within 4 months, failing which appropriate action as deemed fit will be taken. It was urged that in view of Rule 15 within bracket 4 of the 1993 rules, a pension and commuted value thereof are only governed by the Pensions Act 1871. The matter relating to payment of gratuity could not have been brought within the purview of the 1993 rule, as pension and gratuity are not bounties and same should be given a liberal construction. Mr. Banerjee furthermore contended that the decision of the joint consultative machinery to pay 20% dearness allowance in emoluments for the purpose of gratuity being not a decision under a legislative act. The same is subservient to the provisions of the 1972 Act. In any event, the Fifth Pay Revision Commission, having made an interim report that 90% of dearness allowance should be paid to the employees who have retired from 1/4/1995 to 31/12/1995. There is no reason as to why the respondent should be deprived from the benefit thereof. It is well settled that a decision is an authority for what it decides and not what can logically be deduced therefrom. The decision in Preetham Singh having indisputably not taken into consideration the exclusionary clause contained in Section 2E of the 1972 Act cannot be held to be an authority for the proposition that despite the provisions of the 1993 rules, the 1972 Act would apply in the case of the railway servants. It is now well settled that if a decision has been rendered without taking into account the statutory provision, the same cannot be considered to be a binding precedent. This court in Preetham Singh, while exercising its discretionary jurisdiction, might have refused to interfere with the decision. The same therefore did not constitute any binding precedent. The tribunal and consequently the High Court therefore committed a manifest error in holding otherwise. We have noticed hereinbefore that in terms of the 1993 rules, the emoluments were to be paid in terms of the recommendations made by the Fourth Pay Commission. The Fifth Pay Commission no doubt recommended that dearness pay be linked to All India Consumer Price Index of 12/1/1996 as on 1/7/1993. But the entitlements of the employees in terms thereof was directed to be prospectively affected with effect from 1/4/1995. The central government accepted the said recommendations only with prospective effect from 1/4/1995 in terms whereof 97% of the dearness allowance was to be paid to those who were drawing salary up to rupees 3500 as basic pay. The respondent retired on 31/1/1995. The recommendations of the Fifth Pay Commission thus were not applicable in his case.